Hi everybody, this is a quick video on how to define a site in Dreamweaver. And you may have read in the lecture notes or heard in the lecture that you make sure before you do anything that you have defined a site before you begin working in Dreamweaver. This is very important. This tells Dreamweaver that this is the one location where all of your files will reside. And that's all it's doing, is identifying that single folder that we consider a site root folder. Okay, everything goes in there, and that's the folder that you eventually take and upload to the student server. So there are a few ways to define a site in Dreamweaver. The very first one is right here on the welcome screen. In the center column, towards the bottom, you can see it says Dreamweaver site. There's even a little icon that sort of looks like a flow chart. And if I click on that, you'll see it says Site Setup. I'm going to go ahead and click Cancel and show you a couple of other ways. Up in the menu bar at the top, about 3/4 of the way over, it says Site. If I click on that, the drop-down menu gives me two different options: New Site, which is that same little window, or the other option is Manage Sites, which brings me up to a slightly different window, and yet there's a New Site button right here at the bottom. And the last way is actually over in the right-hand side in the Files panel itself. You'll see this happens to be the site that I already have defined, but I can click on that, and the little drop-down menu, the very last option says Manage Sites. Notice a similar kind of flow chart type of an icon. Lists my sites that have already been defined, so I can have multiple sites going at one time. I can be working on several. And I'm going to go ahead and click that New Site button to get back to my site setup window. In the site name area here in this first window, I can name this anything. Since this is a sample for you guys, I'm going to name it Sample. Very clever. The next option says Local Site Folder, and notice this is a pathway. It's assuming I don't have anything set up, and I says very cleverly unnamed site to, which is not very helpful. So I am actually going to use this little icon, the Browse for Folder icon. Click on that, and in this case, for me, I'm going to my desktop. I have my CAM 143 folder, and I already have a sample folder set up where I'm going to be putting all of my HTML documents, my CSS, my images, my videos, all of the great stuff that we're going to learn about this semester. If I did not have that sample folder already set up, I could take advantage of the New Folder button right here at the bottom left, but I already do have one, so I select it, highlight it, and I select Choose. This probably will say Select if you are on a PC. We're almost ready to go, but not quite. I'm going to go ahead and click on Advanced Settings over here in the left-hand column, and you'll see the little arrow twirls down, and it selects first and foremost the local info. And notice the option here up at the top, that's the one we're interested in, Default Images folder. Again, going to use that Browse for Folder icon, and in this case I'm going to take advantage, use that New Folder button, and I'm going to say Images, if I could type it correctly. You can call it Assets, whatever you prefer. I'll say Create. Again, once it's highlighted, I will say Choose or Select. Now, this is enough to get you going. If you have your server information, you can go ahead and do that. You can add that there. We have a separate video for that. But really, defining your site root folder and setting that default images folder is enough for you to start working. I'm going to click Save, and you'll see it added it to the list of sites. They do come in alphabetical order, and I can say Done. And notice, because that's the folder that I just made, Dreamweaver assumes, yes, I'm ready to work on that. And here it is, that sample folder. Notice it says Site because it means it's a defined site, and inside it there's my little images folder. Dreamweaver does also give you the hint, right up here, it tells you which site you're working on. Again, you may have multiple ones. You want to make sure you're in the correct one. Take a look at that. Also, these folders are gray, which means that this is a defined site. Whereas if I come back up to this main level, I have this desktop folder that's actually blue. That means it's not defined. So, requires you to take a little bit of looking, but there are some hints here that make sure you're in the right location when you get ready to go.